Доброго дня, шановні колеги. 15:00 в Україні, такий самий час у Латвії. Щиро вас вітаємо на науково-педагогічних закордонних стажуваннях, які відбуваються на базі університету ISMA, міста Рига, Латвійська Республіка. Щиро дякуємо вам усім учасникам за можливість сьогодні взяти участь, що приділяєте увагу діяльності Центру українсько-європейського співробітництва, який я як директор сьогодні тут представляю. Користуючись нагодою, що ми зараз разом зібралися, тут є представники Латвії, я на подібних заходах завжди висловлюю щиро.
So, I think that we lost our speaker. Can someone translate me? What he said, and should we wait or we can start? Dear colleagues, how do you think? Can we start?
We suppose, yes, we can, if it is possible.
Okay, yes, definitely.
Thank you.
So, let me share my screen and we will start. My name is Julia Mironova. I'm working in ISMA, University of Applied Sciences, and also I'm very interested in the professional burnout of the professors because, well, this is topic of my interest research. And at the moment, I'm making a research together with University of Latvia about professional burnout of the professors, all the educators, actually, of higher education institution. So, a little about myself. I'm a bachelor program director of business administration and tourism. Also, I'm working in a company, Sandex City. We are projecting floating underwater villas for the tourism industry, for the resorts. Today, our presentation will be very colorful. It's not for kids. It is specifically for adults, for grown-ups. Why colorful? Because our topic is not an easy topic, right? It is not very easy. It is not, sometimes it's not very pleasant to speak about burnout, to speak about some negative feelings, what we can have at our workplace. This is why I decided to make it very colorful, and I do usually present it to all the professors from different universities in a colorful mode. So sometimes it helps us to know not to go very deep into negative feelings. I have something in the chat. Sorry. Well, I would like to make a note that I can't see the chat from the full screen. So if I have to read the chat, I have to exit the full screen to the working mode, and and then I can open the chat. For everyone, I do not speak Ukrainian and I do not understand Ukrainian. So if you want to ask me something or comment something or if, yeah, basically if we need a discussion, it should be on English. However, if you wish, I can translate everything what I say to Russian, if you wish. If not, if English is good for you, we continue on English. So what do you say? Do you need translation or you don't need it?
Only in English, please.
Only English, please. Okay, great. Then all the questions should be in English, or someone can translate if it's on Ukrainian. So, yeah, we all are different. With that, I would like to start my presentation, my lecture. We all are different. Why do I mean by that? You and me are different. We come from different countries, right? We come from different countries. We are raised in different families. We might have different religion. We might have a different perceptions of what happens around us, we might see things completely differently. And it's not only about you, me as a Latvian, and you as Ukrainians. It's about every group. In every group, even if we come from the same country and we work in the same company, we are different because we are raised in different families. And even two kids who come from the same family, they also have, you know, that they also have different perceptions. They also react on the things differently. So this is why we can't compare. I can't compare myself to other persons. You can't compare in terms of the load, of the workload, in terms of the different situations, what happens in the workplace. We all are different, we present different. And for one person, the workload can be completely okay. And for another person, the same workload can be completely like not okay, too much. Right? I've heard a story from my friend. She is a teacher in the kindergarten. So she works with those small kids in the preschool. And she said, I have some colleagues who are working a lot. Basically, there is a certain load. I don't know how many hours, probably 140 per week as a teacher, contact hours, I mean, in the kindergarten. And she said, well, I can't do more just because in her situation, she has two kids, she's a single mom, she has so many duties outside of the work, so she can't work 200 hours, for example. And she says, and sometimes I'm here from my colleagues, like, why can't you work more? It's okay to work more. I work more, which means that you can work more too. And that's definitely not enough. So I believe that raising awareness about the burnout, about its concept, is extremely important for all the educators, not only educators from the university, from schools. I used to deliver different lectures for school teachers in Latvia and in Turkey. And actually the problem is the same. They are very tired. They do a lot of paperwork. Pandemic hit them drastically. So they are very close to burnout, some of them. I believe that in Ukraine situation with the school teachers can be similar. So World Health Organization implemented burnout in the classification of diseases. So that's a disease. That's not something we might think psychologists that this just came to their mind. No, it's a syndrome conceptualized as a result from chronic workplace stress, in the case if that stress was not successfully managed. So I like to compare it with a snowball. You know the snowball, you take the snow, you make a ball. Itself, this little snowball at the very beginning, it just really can't harm you, because it's a small snowball, right? Like our hand. But if we place it on the top of the hill and it goes down, it rounds down, it's become bigger. And at the bottom of the hill, it's like a huge ravine. It can even kill someone, right? Because it's a huge snow. So burnout is pretty similar to that. At the very beginning, when we see some symptoms, it is not affecting our daily working life. We feel maybe not bad, not good sometimes not bad, sometimes again not good, but it is not disturbing us from the daily duties at work and at home. However, if that stress is not managed properly, it will influence our daily life more and more. And those three dimensions, what the World Health Organization describes, are feelings of energy depletion, increasing mental distance, and reduced personal efficacy. So what I also would like to mention, that burnout is not the same as depression. Professional burnout is when we have those negative feelings towards our job. So we have those negative feelings, we feel bad at our workplace, but when we come back home, it's good. So not everything all around is bad. Only our job is the place where those negative feelings occur. And depression is when person feels those negative feelings towards all the things what happens around private life, family, friends, work, and everything. That's depression. But we are not going to go deeper into psychology right now. So burnout, professional burnout, is when everything feels like pointless and useless. When we do a literature or review, if you, for example, if you would Google what is professional burnout, you would find one of the, let's say, mothers of the theory of the burnout. Christina Maslach is an Austrian researcher. At the moment, she is retired, but I think she's partly working in the United States. And her definition was adopted by the World Health Organization. Maslach says that burnout hits those who do the people job. So work with people mostly, which means that statistically, doctors are those who are more affected by burnout, and second place is teachers, which is not a surprise because we are very, very emotionally involved in the lives of other people, our students. So emotional exhaustion was the first aspect of burnout, and you saw it in a previous slide. Emotional exhaustion and physical exhaustion, right, is when you wake up in the morning and you feel tired already. Nothing brings joy. You are tired, very tired, physically, emotionally. Second aspect is depersonalization. That's a cynical feeling. I believe that every one of you know at least one colleague who thinks that everything what we do in a university is pointless and useless. Students don't care about our work, right? This person thinks because even if I do good or bad, it doesn't matter, then they want to study. Whatever I do, it doesn't matter because the management of the university, they don't pay attention to it, they don't understand it, etc. That's a cynical feeling and the attitude towards clients, towards employees, towards colleagues, towards everything what is in our workplace. And the third aspect is reduced personal accomplishment. Reduce productivity. Of course, if I have reduced productivity at the moment, I'm not happy with that, right? Just because if I used to do 3 times more like a year ago, and now I do a lot less, and I work really slower, and I don't understand the topics that well, I can't do the research that well, because you and me, we are not only lecturers, we should do the research, right? Someone more, someone less, but still they are asking the management and the governmental bodies, they are looking for that, for the research, right? And this third aspect is extremely important because of course it affects our well-being. If I used to manage to do a lot of things and I can't do it, I'm not happy with myself. And I'm starting to struggle if my management is happy about what I'm doing at the moment. Here on the screen, you can see factors. What might influence the rise of the burnout? I would like to start with the yellow one and go as a clockwise goes. Work overload. Can we just like this stop working too much with an overload? Of course not. Well, that's not that easy. That's not that easy if we have in universities educators very often have a lot of duties more than just teaching, right? As I said already, some research, some administrative things. And at the moment in ISMA, we have this week is dedicated to the defense of the bachelor thesis and master thesis of the students. And of course, we are scientific advisors for those students, and we have a lot of work. And can we just skip this work overload like this? Of course we can't, because that's the work, we get money for. But work overload is one of the aspects what influences the rise of the burnout. The second one, please take a look on the value conflict, the purple one. What is value conflict? Here I would like to tell you the story from my personal life. Before I started to work as a lecturer in the university, I used to work as a hotel general director here in Riga, hotel general manager. And once per 3 months, which means once per quarter, we have bonuses for all the employees, not for the director, but for everyone. So maids, receptionists, and I had about 45 employees in the hotel. So not very huge hotel, small hotel. And of course, we lived some sort like a family. Everyone worked very good. And of course, as in a small organization, I used to chat with everyone. I knew the problems of the maids. I knew that someone had to pay for the tuition fees for the universities for the kids. Some lady's husband has a health problems. The same as I knew about some life aspects of my receptionist, that someone had to pay again tuition fees, someone had kids, and etc. So in general, what I would like to say, that they all worked very, very well. I was extremely happy to work with those people because they did their duties like almost for 100%. The company I worked in, we were a hotel operator. So we were taking the hotels for the operations, and I had let's say, big management in the office. We were about 10 hotels in the chain, which means that I was in charge of this specific hotel, and then there was management in the office who was in charge of all the hotels. So, and then this day, when I had to give reports for those financial bonuses of my employees to the office, and obviously, as they worked very well, everyone, I wrote in the paper that all of them should receive those maximum bonuses. And of course, all of them were waiting for those bonuses because they were like educated people. They understood that they work well, which means that if I work well, they promised, the management promised, if I work well, I receive quarter bonus, 1 + 3 months, and they were waiting for it. I sent this paper to the office and I didn't even pay attention to it. And then I got a call like, Julia, you sent us a paper that everyone should receive a quarter bonus. I said, yeah, sure. You see the review on booking.com. It is becoming higher and higher. You can come and inspect our hotel. Maids work very good. Receptionists work very good. Breakfast waiters and cooks, like everything is nice here. So of course everyone should. And they said, no, Julia, we can't pay to everyone. I was like, why? Why you can't pay to everyone? Why can't we, pay to everyone if they all work really good? No, Julia, we can't, because it is not possible that everyone work good. I said, well, then come and inspect. If you think that they don't work properly, then come and inspect, all the processes on the reception, come and inspect cleanliness on the rooms. There are certain aspects which you can go and inspect, and you will see that, yeah, I'm very lucky to work with those people. They said, come on, you should be not in boat with them. You are the management. You should be in a boat with us. And I was like, come on, guys, do we have a boat? Really? We are all working in one company. No. At that moment, I understood that probably my values do not match the values of the company. I don't want to be in a boat. I want to work. All I want is to work. All I want is to work normally. All I want is to pay people respective salaries, which we promised, right? And if they were good, they should receive those bonuses. And that's it from my side. I don't want to discuss if we have budget for that or no, because no one warned me that probably the situation might happen that we don't have budget for bonuses for everyone. And even if it's that situation, it's not their problem. It's ours. It's management problem. So this is how I actually came to the topic of my dissertation about how organizational culture influences the burnout. But in my case, it is about educators. Lack of the community is the red one. How lack of the community influence burnout? Remember pandemic times. It was terrible, right? When we couldn't go shopping, when we couldn't, everything what was very usual was not available at that moment. No shopping, no traveling. I couldn't go in a car with my mother even here in Latvia. Basically, she doesn't have a driving license, and she goes to her institution by 2 buses. First one and then second one. And of course, during the pandemic, going by public bus, it was not the best idea. And I said to her, okay, mom, I'm working from home. I can drive you work and back. And even this was not allowed by our government because we live in a separate households. And during the pandemic, this lack of community influenced educators in a huge manner, because we were not able to go to the conferences, we were not able to go via Erasmus, right? To teach, or for a training, or for a research or whatever, right? We were stuck in one place. Of course, lack of the community doesn't happen only during the pandemic. Sometimes when people don't feel good emotionally, they might, isolate themselves from the community, which again, from someone would work perfectly for a short period of time. Someone would feel definitely not very great about it. So support from the community is extremely important in terms of not getting burnout. And this community can be colleagues. This community can be your family, your friends, whoever whom you trust. Lack of fairness, a blue one. This is what would happen in my hotel if I wouldn't pay those bonuses. By the way, we paid it. I really insisted in the office that, guys, in this case, it is not possible not to pay. Like, no way. Because if I wouldn't pay, like, a fairness would arise within my employees, within my colleagues. Why? Because they, as I said, they are well-educated, grown-up persons, someone younger, someone older. However, they understand that they are a team. They work together. They achieve better results together. And we had really great results. And then if someone would receive a bonus and someone not, it would be completely, they would feel this lack of fairness, which leads where? Why do I need to work as hard as I can if anyway my management is not going to evaluate it properly? That's it. Lack of control. There are some research actually done that as more we can control our life, as more we can control, the more we can control our professional duties, the schedule of the day, the less we can be affected by burnout. Because we can reschedule something, we can delegate something, we can say, okay, I'm not very in the mood to work today with this, but I can work with this tomorrow, right? The more control we have our work daily duties, the less affected we might be with the burnout. How do person can feel when person has burnout? Please take a look on this list. You see, this is not very, very, very fun topic. This, again, reminder, this is why the presentation is very colorful. I'm not going to read it. However, a lot of symptoms might occur when person has a burnout. From a lot of physical symptoms, right? But why I would like to say, even if you think that you might have some of them, it might be that you just need to check your health, your iron level, your vitamin D level, right? However, if you feel that some of the symptoms are disturbing you, definitely I would suggest you to go and seek for the help of the doctor. The more satisfied we are with our job, the more, let's say, the less we can be affected by the burnout. There are tons of the research done by the international researchers, which confirms that dissatisfaction at workplace can be dangerous for the mental health of the employees. So the more happy we are with what we exactly do at our workplace, the stronger is our mental health. I would like to remind everyone that relationships are important. Just human beings as we are, just relationships without each other. We don't have to be friends with everyone, of course, no, but good, qualitative, trustful relationships at the workplace are just crucial. Without that, it is very difficult for us as for human beings to survive those long hours we stay at work, and we don't want to survive those long work hours, right? We want to feel the joy. We want to feel this idea, why did we came to the education? To make the world better. Those are very loud words, right? To make the world better. However, this is what educators are doing, raising awareness about different important things and concepts. And in general, yes, it is making world better. Take a look on this slide. A year ago, in December, I think, I went to Turkey, to the region of Edirne, to give lectures to 5 school teachers, to the vet education, actually, to the teachers of colleges. And at that moment, they had a terrible, as they said, education restructurization happening in Turkey. So what happened? All the teachers had to have an exam which would evaluate if they can work further as a teachers or not. And it was terrible stress for them, really. They gave to the kids some tasks and were studying during the lectures, and of course they were very tired, they were very dissatisfied, but that was a law. So what can they do? And I showed them this slide, and they are just saying that and discussing how difficult it is, how difficult the exam is and everything. And I asked them, how do you think, do managers of the companies, do let's say rectors and directors of the schools of universities experience less stress? Are they less affected by the burnout? They say, yeah, definitely. I said, okay, that's one research done 1.5 years ago. But think about it from the different angle. Think of it from the different angle. You and me, we can discuss it right now. What do? We have this community, right? We have this community. We discuss how hard it is. We discuss maybe there are some tools, techniques, how to avoid it, how to help each other, etc. So we have this community feeling. We discuss it, we chat together, and sometimes it might feel better. I said, but do your school directors, are they able to discuss with you their feelings? They said, no. That's the thing. That's the thing, that the managers of the organization very often they can't do this community thing at work as much as they would want to. Yes, high level of a power is some kind of the key to the better mental health from one perspective. Remember the control thing from the previous slide. Managers have more control over their workplace, over their duties. They can delegate, they can, from one perspective, definitely yes. But from the perspective of the community, from the perspective of the maybe amount of the duties, from the perspective of the many other things, yes, it should be looked on from different angles. How do you think, who are more affected by burnout, men or women? How do you think?
Both.
Both. Good. A lot of research is done about that. A lot of research. Some of researchers said that women are more affected by burnout. Why? Because women have a lot of duties outside the work. Kids, cleaning, washing, cooking, and many other things, and responsible for all the household. Some of the researchers said that men are more affected by burnout. Why? Just because the society is pushing on them. You are the man, you should earn more money, right? You should be the one who brings the money home, and your family should feel safe with you and all those stuff. Of course, they are kind of pushing on the mental health of the men. Some research says that there is no difference, that burnout is, let's say, there are a lot of more factors affected than just the gender, which affects the burnout. As I started from the beginning, that we are all different. So it depends on ourselves, on our mental health, on many factors. But as I said, I'm doing the research with the University of Latvia, and I will give you the link at the end of the lecture, and I will ask you to fulfill this survey. On my survey, at the moment, I have 1,600 employees, so 1,600 educators who fulfill the survey. Men are more satisfied with their salary in university than women. And usually there is a harsh discussion about that. Why? Someone says, oh, men need less. Someone says men work more. Someone says, well, it can be different. Maybe still we don't have this gender equality, right? That the salary of men are higher than salary of women. So there is a lot of research about that, and a lot of research about if the amount of salary is the one which influences the burnout itself and the rise of a burnout. Why do we need to speak about the burnout in the organization itself? If we speak from economic point of view, yes, definitely it's a very important factor for ourselves to take care about our work and life balance. But take a look on the slide, how much the stress costs for the economy, how much the work-related stress influences the turnover of the employees in the company. As I said, I worked as a general manager of the hotel, and one day we needed a new maid, and one very nice woman came, and I was speaking with her, and of course she was so intelligent, and so she behaved so well, and I was like, why do she come to work as a maid? Because obviously that she has good education. It was just obvious. And she started to work. She was perfect. She became a housekeeping manager in a year, I think. And then I discussed with her. I asked, can you please tell me what is your background? I'm just very interested, just because, you know, obviously that you're not coming from the cleaning environment. And she said, yes, I worked as an how to tell it, just a second. I don't know how to tell it in English. However, in a court structure, she worked in the court structure, and she had a master's degree. Yeah, she worked in the court with the criminals and everything, and she had a very good position in Riga. However, all because of stress and of burnout. She said, one day I felt that I just can't do this job anymore. This is how doctors quit the job. This is how educators quit the job. One day it feels like I can't do anymore, and that's it. And of course, it costs for the company. There are some different companies which have those creative approaches for well-being of employees. In Riga Stradins University, this is a medical university in Riga, they have child care room for kids of students and employees. Every day, for 4 hours, student or educator can bring their kids for this child care room where a nanny is. So this is not an attendant room, you know, just a playing room. No, there is a nanny. And I discussed this with my colleagues from abroad, and they said there are a lot of universities in Europe which do something like this. For me, it was really a surprise, really nice, really creative approach to, you know, to take care about the well-being of the employees. Remember, we spoke about what can we do in terms of the workload. Can we change our workload like that on a moment? No, we can't, but we can try. We can try to change the work patterns. We can try to reduce the working hours a little. We can try not to work 1 hour at least before we go to bed, and to find this balance of the work and life balance. As already discussed, we can get the support from family and friends. We can use our relaxation strategies. My relaxation strategy is my garden, planting roses, growing up tomatoes and cucumbers and everything. Even now, we have a lot of snow in Latvia. However, I'm looking outside the window and thinking, oh, come on, in February, I already can think about tomatoes, and I can see those tomatoes and everything. Yeah, in Ukraine, you are more southern, so you have a little warmer climate and summer is longer. Here in Latvia, we have to catch it, you know, for the vegetables and fruits and everything. Sports is important for your health, for my health, for everyone's. I'm not saying that you have to go to gym and do those heavy weights. No, walking outside is great. If you can't run, don't run, just walk, and it will help your health a lot. A lot of self-analysis techniques can be used to try to better understand yourself. I usually offer to the students, for example, educators probably know the Lusher test. If you're not aware of what is it, I will write it in the chat. It's a very nice thing. Lusher test, you can make a note if you don't know what it is, but probably mainly you do. Test with colors, which could help you to understand how do you feel at the moment. What do you want? What is your maybe secret desire? It helps a little. Time management. If person is good with the time management, burnout will never come. Just with this slide, we can finish. We can start and finish my presentation, because if you are good with prioritizing your tasks and focus on important ones, do not take too much work. If you can easily evaluate what you can do or not, it's perfect. Then you have time, then you have for research and for relaxation and for lectures. Then you have perfect work and life balance. But it is difficult. It is not that easy. Someone is a marathon runner. Someone is a sprinter. If we speak about the working duties, I'm a sprinter. I had marathons. I had when someone says, okay, for here is a task for a year. I'm just like, oh my God, for a year. I don't know how to prioritize very well. So probably I will have a problem in December when the year ends, right? So I like to divide those large projects into smaller assignments, and then I have, yes, one win, and then another one is done, and yes, then it's a second win. Regular breaks are important. We should have breaks. This is why teachers have those summer breaks, long summer breaks, because we need it, because we deserve it. And sometimes, yes, we can work a lot. This week with diploma papers is very, very, let's say, harsh for the educators in ISMA. However, if it's needed for a short period of time, we can do it. Everyone can do it, because then we can have, you know, a little rest with a less work. However, you just can't work very, very hard all the time. Self-care, quality of sleep. I can bear that. How many colleagues do I have here in the conference? 40 plus. I can bear that only few of you sleeps 9 hours or more than 9 hours, which is great for a body, for a health. And I can say for 100%, then mainly you sleep 6 to 7 hours. This is how we adults have to manage all our personal and professional life. However, 8 to 9 hours is almost obligatory. Of course, not for everybody. Of course, we understand that there are some people who will feel perfectly with sleeping of 6 hours during their lifetime. But definitely, this is a very small percentage of people. Physical activity, which can reduce your stress, and relaxation techniques like breathe, like meditation. For someone, it's great. For me, meditation do not work. Maybe I don't know how to do it properly. However, I have others self-care practices. Again, about isolation, it's as I said, extremely important to recharge with your family and with your friends. Someone needs it more, someone needs it less. It depends, again, on many factors, but consider maybe that person who used to be a very, very, very good friend of yours started to have this self-isolation. Maybe you need to help this person to be back on track within a contact. If you're struggling emotionally, go and ask for a help, which is completely okay. Activities should vary. We should, again, take care about our mental health and balance our academic work with our different hobbies, with our different interests. Remember, when you were a kid, what was your hobby, favorite hobby? Someone would say dancing, football, basketball, singing, painting pictures, right? How many of you still do the same hobby now? I can answer not more than 10%. We grow up, we have a lot of problems in our adult life. We have a different things to achieve. We go and run and we try to earn the money to raise our kids, etc. But we usually, the thing is that we do forget about those activities what we were in love to. I have one of my former colleagues she used to have a burnout at workplace. She's painting right now. She loves to paint and she is giving her pictures as a present. Now I just received on the Christmas beautiful present, beautiful little picture, which I can place at my workplace at the table. Remember what you loved to do, because it can bring you a huge joy to life. Through this, maybe from dancing, singing, painting, football. You don't have to be a professional player. In every city, there are groups of those amateurs who love to do it. Of course, if your table is organized, your mind is organized, right? We remember about that. And clutter, it gives us this contribution to the stress. There are different kinds of digital tools of the organization. There are a lot of kinds and tools how to organize your workplace and your daily place. A lot of educators are perfectionists, so we are striving for excellence. We want to be excellent. We want to be the best. it's not the worst thing. However, it can lead us to burnout, because if we want to be perfect in everything, you should remember that it's just not possible. That's it. It's just not possible. So we should just let it go, as Elsa sang in her song in the Frozen. Just let it go. Sometimes. We already discussed a lot of different strategies. For some person, it might work and it might not work for another person. You should find your own and never ever compare you with others. A lot of can be done from the management side of maybe there are some from the management side of the institution. Development of the social support. There is one university in the United States where is this ambassador of the well-being, specific educators who are ambassadors of the well-being, and they are helping everyone around to deal with different struggles, to start sporting or to start to be more social, etc. Management can also introduce with the different stress management systems to help employees. Employees who participate in the life of the company are less affected by the burnout. Decision-making, again, is the same with the participation of the life of the company is extremely important. Remember that I told you which are two professions the mostly affected by burnout? Doctors and educators. We know that, this is obvious, and we have to deal with that somehow. And the very last but not least, and we are very on time, COVID-19, of course, it's affected. The pandemic affected the well-being of the people in a huge way. And we will just face those mental issues, what pandemic affected. Actually, we will face it in a years, I believe. Thank you very much for being with me today. And what I right now would like you to do is to fulfill the survey. I will give you the link in the chat. Please fill the survey, go there, follow this link. In the Google Chrome, this link can be translated to any language. So if it will be more comfortable for you to fulfill it in Ukrainian, you can do that. I believe this is possible. And the survey itself takes not more than 4 minutes of the time. So I will appreciate it very much. And meanwhile, while everyone is completing the survey, I definitely am open for questions. And after you complete the survey, please put plus in the chat, so I know that you did it.
Hello.
Hi.
My English is not good enough for communicate freely, but the report was clear, and I'm grateful to you for the interesting and useful material. I have some more work to do on the material, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Olga. It's a pleasure for me that you liked it. So please proceed with the questionnaire, which is in the chat. And I will appreciate very much all the contribution which you will give to our research with University of Latvia. Thank you, Olga, also. So, and I'm waiting for the pluses in the chat for those who completed the survey. It's a really small one, just statistically 4 minutes, not more.